In the first meeting between these two teams, it was the Bulls who held a 6-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. And then it came down to the buzzer. Kent State on their home floor hit a shot with 4 seconds to go thanks to Claire Kelly. She ended the night with 11 points off the bench. And Kelly hit the game winner up and over Latrice Perkins through the lane on a runner as the Bulls double-teamed Lindsey Thal at the left baseline. Kent State won the game after Buffalo was not able to respond in the final 4 seconds. A Zakiyah Winfield shot was too strong from the opposing baseline, and the Bulls fell 64-63. That was the first game in conference play. Buffalo was 500 at that point. They had the world in front of them in Coach Burke's first year. Now things are a bit different. The Bulls on a 3-game losing streak, having lost 7 of the last 8. They return home for the final 6 games of this season, with 4 of them being on this floor. And it all starts right now as Latrice Perkins goes up with Lindsey Thal for the opening tip. And it's the Golden Flash Lindsey Thal at 6'2", rising over the 5'11" Latrice Perkins. Kent State, the first possession of the ball game. In the navy blue uniforms on the right wing, Lindsey Thal finds her teammate Katie Shoemate atop the key. To the left side, it's Hannah Young. The graduate guard picks up her dribble as Latrice Perkins denies her any room inside. Atop the key, dribbling left and right is Casey Santoro. The 5'4" guard takes it to the right wing, fires it atop the key for Hauser. 4 to shoot. Corinne Hauser steps and hands aside. Lindsey Thal from the key pulls a 3. It's off back iron and out. Jasmine Young, the lone player inside the arc for the rebound. Still no score. 40 seconds gone by from Amherst, New York. Jasmine Young, 1,000 career points. Notched that at Toledo a few games ago. She gets the offense started for the Bulls. And Zakiyah Winfield from the right arc drives all the way to the low post, jumps and puts up the runner and swishes it home from 4 feet away. Zakiyah Winfield opens the scoring, 2-0 Buffalo, a minute gone by. Corinne Hauser atop the key for Shoemate, and to the right wing, Santoro. Ball high above her head, starts her dribble with the left hand atop the key. Hannah Young to the left side, Shoemate from the outside, dribbling to the mid-post. Up top, Lindsey Thal, guarded by Masher. Pump fakes the handoff atop the key and swings it to the right side. Driving in is Young. Kick out to the left wing. Corner 3 off back iron from Shoemate. Rebounded by Emerita Masher. Buffalo wants to push it in transition, and Stone does. Spinning away from Hauser. She takes it to the low block and draws a foul on Kent State as Rayshawna Stone of Buffalo took it all the way down the floor, going inside that 2-3 zone set up for the Flashes. It was Hauser who had her hand on Stone. First foul on the day sends the red-braided Rayshawna Stone to the stripe. She is just too strong on the first free throw attempt as it rolls off the right rim and falls out the left after circling around the top. 3 more dribbles and the second free throw perfect. Stone makes it a 3-0 Buffalo lead with the 2 Glenville State transfers, the only 2 to get on the board for Buffalo. 8:20 to go in the first quarter, 3-0. On the left wing, Corinne Hauser hands off for Shoemate. Kent State passing the ball beyond the arc. Peeking her way inside is Santoro from the right wing. Nothing doing. Up top for Thal. Back to the right wing for Shoemate. Ball at her hip. Puts it on the floor. Drives inside. Pushes off on Winfield and gets the jumper to go from the mid-post on the right side. Zakiyah Winfield hit the deck on her rear end, though she popped back up. No call. Stone leading 3-2 for Buffalo. Gets it to the right wing. Perkins in the starting lineup. To the left side for Stone. Waits for the screen for Masher on the left arc. Dribbles inside to the low post. 2-3 zone for Kent State, guarding inside well. On the right arc, Winfield takes it to the free throw line. 8 seconds to shoot. Takes it all the way to the low post and lays it in for 2. Zakiyah Winfield, 4 points in the paint. Buffalo's got a 5-2 lead. 7.5 to go in the first quarter. Left wing, Young had it for Kent State. Perkins was guarding her, but away from the ball, a whistle blew. And Kent State will get the ball from the Buffalo baseline left of the basket. Matt Berger, Aaron Brooks, and Dara Loftian, the 3 officials for today's contest. Left of the basket, Kent State inbounds with Hauser. Atop the key, Thal. Quick touch pass to Santoro. To the right wing, Young drives all the way to the low block, gets fouled and lays it off the glass. Too strong on the layup, though she'll head to the line for 2 shots. She was driving in on Latrice Perkins, who makes her first career start at Alumni Arena today, though just her second in her Division I career this season at Buffalo. Fouls now 2-1. Buffalo picking up the last 2 fouls called on this offensive possession for the Flashes, who trail 5-2. Buffalo fans make some noise as dribbling with two hands is Hannah Young. She swishes the first one perfectly. Right sweatband on the right elbow for Hannah Young. Looks like some tape as well on the back end of the elbow. She's too strong on the second free throw. It rattles out to the weak side. Rayshawna Stone the rebound. In transition, Stone sets up, pushes it down low. Masher lays it up and in beautifully. Buffalo's up 5, make it 7-3 now with 7:07 to go in the first quarter. Hauser across timeline right, down the right sideline to the corner. She picks up the dribble. And now atop the key. Hauser waits for movement. Kent State all shaking around inside the paint. Handoff from Thal, back to Hauser. Mid-range jumper, short off front iron. Rebound, Zakiyah Winfield. Best rebounding guard in the country in terms of rebounds per game all season. Zakiyah averages 11 rebounds per contest. She takes it for Buffalo to the free throw line. To the left wing, Stone calls for the screen from Masher. Uses it to the baseline. Stone all the way up and under. Good! Nice take from Rayshawna Stone on the turnaround at the low left post. Buffalo's up by 6, 9-3. In transition, Hauser lays it in from the low left post for Kent State. Answering for the flashes, it's 9-5. Buffalo still up by 4. On the left wing, Jasmine Young, yet to take a shot here tonight. She takes it all the way and gets blocked inside by Hannah Young. That's Young on Young violence inside, as it's the Kent State Young who gets the block. All the way, it was Shoemate who laid it up and strong. Straightaway center in transition. Off back iron, it fell to the right side. And a whistle blows for an out-of-bounds call, as Claire Kelly, the hero in the first meeting between these two teams for Kent State, hit the buzzer beater shot to send Kent State home happy on their home floor in January. She checks in. From the short corner right, Lindsay Thal takes a jumper, barely jumped, though she gets it to rattle in. 9-7, Buffalo still leads Kent State, 5:47 to go in the first quarter. Rayshawna Stone with 3 points of Buffalo's 9 so far, hands off for Young. Masher at the top left arc, takes it around the corner, drives all the way with the left hand, leaves it short off the glass. Shoemate defended her and boxed her out for the rebound. Claire Kelly in transition for Kent State. Hands it off for Young to Shoemate. Atop the key, Kelly again. Hands off to Thal at the free throw line. Cutting is Young. She puts it strong off left glass. Perkins the rebound, and Young takes it for the Bulls in transition. On the right wing, crosses up on Hauser, floats it outside. Stone pulls a three from the right wing. It's good! Buffalo's first made triple on the day comes off the hands of Rayshawna Stone. She's got 6 of Buffalo's 12. They lead 12-7 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lindsay Thal for Kent State. Hands it off atop the key. Young to Shoemate on the right arc. Hand off up top for Claire Kelly, and now the guard, Corinne Hauser. The freshman takes it all the way through the lane and floats it up with the right hand at the MAC logo. It's strong and out to the right. Perkins the board. Stone in transition. Cross-court pass to Winfield. On the left arc, screen set by Masher to the right of the defender, Hannah Young. Outside the Bulls pass to Stone. She steps into the arc and pulls a deep 2. It's strong. It rattles out. On the weak side, the rebound was grabbed by Katie Shoemate. And in transition, Corinne Hauser pulls up the dribble atop the key. Masher puts her hands above her head to deny any shot. With 4:15 to go in the first, Kent State blocked inside. Perkins got her hand on that one as Shoemate went up with the right hand from the low right post. Buffalo crosses the timeline on the left side with Rayshawna Stone. Leading scorer on the game so far, looks over her right shoulder to Coach Burke, who calls out the offense. Stone at the left arc, hands it off for Masher. Up top, Winfield. Screen set by Amarita. Winfield pulls a jumper for 2. It's good. Zakiyah Winfield started out inside the paint. She steps back about 10 feet for that one. Buffalo takes a 14-7 lead. Under 4 minutes to go in the first. Right wing 3 for Claire Kelly is good. In transition, Kent State didn't allow Buffalo to set up too smoothly. And just like that, it's just a 2-possession ball game, 14-10. Buffalo hangs on to the lead. Latrice Perkins with that block on the previous Buffalo defensive possession, brought to you by Fidelis Care. More on that in a moment. On the left wing, Stone pulls a three for the Bulls. It's short off the iron. Weak side rebound, Winfield. Make it Stone through the lane. She lays it in. It was Perkins who got the board on the left side. She found Stone cutting after the miss. Wide open layup for the Bulls. They're up 16-10. Lindsay Thal through the lane. Kicks to the left side. Kelly's three is good. Back-to-back threes for Claire Kelly for Kent State. We're high flying in Amherst, New York so far. 6 points for Claire Kelly, all from beyond the arc. It's a 16-13 Buffalo lead nonetheless. Stone uses the screen of Michelle on the left arc. Drives with the left hand, lays it up off the glass and in. Buffalo continues to score inside. Plenty of points in the paint, and Stone's already in double digits. 10 of Buffalo's 18. They lead by 6. On the left arc, Kent State's Corinne Hauser. The freshman floats it inside for the graduate forward Thal. She kicks it out to the right arc. Atop the key three for Shoemate is strong off back iron. Rebound by Thal in the middle of Buffalo bodies. She puts it up and draws the foul on Perkins, who tried to set her feet. And with 2:20 to go in the first quarter, Lindsay Thal will go to the free throw line after our first media timeout. It's an 18-13 Buffalo lead with 2:20 remaining in the first. This is Buffalo basketball presented by Learfield. Bulls lead 23-10. Don't adjust your stations, that's correct. After one quarter, it's 23-10 Buffalo over the number one team in the conference, Bowling Green, after one. It's the second highest offensive output in the first quarter for Buffalo this season, behind 24 points against Long Island on their home floor in the non-conference play. Buffalo in a must-win game to keep their conference tournament hopes alive. Defend the basket to our left to start quarter number 2. Velasco for Bowling Green with 2 points. To the right wing for Les. Atop the key for Day. To the near side, Hampton. Float down from Brett, finds Day. Layup with the left is strong. Weak side board, Emerita Masher. Great box out from Hattie Ogden. Causes the Buffalo defensive rebound. They currently lead 13, make it 14-4 on the glass. Jasmine Young on the near sideline. Walking the floor and the three-point line, finds Stone to her right. One-on-one with Brett. Drives to the baseline. Double team from Day. Throws it across the floor. Ogden, one-touch pass to the corner. Three for Masher. You betcha! Emerita Masher. After 2 triples at Eastern 2 days ago, she extends the Bulls' lead to 16. 26-10, a minute into the second quarter. On the left wing, Velasco. Up top, Day floats it inside. Layup good on the low left post from Olivia Hill. Coach Burke claps her hands and doesn't like the defensive effort inside the 2-3 zone of Buffalo, which gave Bowling Green their 6th bucket on the day. They're now 6 of 18 from the field with 12 points, trailing Buffalo by 14. On the left wing, Rayshawna Stone, guarded tightly on that side by Day. She walks the baseline, jumps and puts it up with 2 hands, short off the near side glass. Weak side board grabbed by Nyla Hampton for Bowling Green. She drives all the way to the bucket, denied by Masher. Kick to the left wing. Velasco up top. Plays catch with Hill. Pulls the three. Off and to the right. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Bowling Green's Olivia Hill. Winfield was rising up in front of Hill, though the 6-foot forward of Bowling Green tipped it up and over Winfield, forcing the Buffalo ball. It was a block on the defensive end as shown by the replay of Nyla Hampton. And on the inbound, a foul called against Buffalo's Hattie Ogden, her 2nd on the day. It's the first of the quarter for either team. And off the Buffalo inbound, it's a turnover on that foul. Bowling Green gets the ball on the far sideline. Hampton inbounds to Amy Velasco atop the key. Drives with the left, up and around Ogden. She lays it in. Hattie can't take another foul in this first half. If she wants to play late into the game, Buffalo needs her out in the late moments. Off the inbound, a steal for Hampton. Off Stone's inbound, she leaves it for Day. She floats it in with the right hand, and it's a quick run for Bowling Green, cutting the deficit down to 10. 26-16 in this second quarter. Still 8 minutes to play. Stone for Buffalo. Breaks the press. To the right wing, Young loses possession. Backs down Brett down the baseline, denied by the senior. Atop the key, Masher drives on Day, throws it up with the right. It drops in. 2 hands for Emerita Masher from the low right post. Extends the lead back to 12. On the right wing, Day drives baseline, kick in front, stolen away by Young, and she draws the foul on Olivia Hill. First foul on the quarter for Bowling Green, with Buffalo leading 28-16, 7:34 to go in this quarter. Hattie Ogden takes a seat in favor of the senior fifth-year transfer Latrice Perkins, who comes to Buffalo from Charleston at the D2 level, where she played for Coach Burke 3 seasons ago. For 2 years, she played with Coach Burke at Charleston. On the floor for the Bulls, she's good for 22 minutes a night. Inbound left of the basket for Young. Stolen away, nearly. Hampton gets called for the foul instead on Bowling Green. Young got the quick inbound pass to Stone. She tipped it right back to the inbounder in Young, and flying from the midcourt stripe, Hampton got called for the foul reaching in. She heads to the sideline in favor of Lexi Fleming. 28-16, Buffalo leads the 13-2 Bowling Green Falcons, trying to avoid back-to-back home losses for the first time all season, having lost just 1 game at home all year to Northern Illinois a week and a half ago. Jasmine Young for Buffalo in the visiting royal blue to the far sideline. Spins away from Velasco. She comes back over to Checker. On the near side, Perkins puts it on the floor. Hand off for Stone at the sideline. Bowling Green switches off well. 10 seconds to shoot. Winfield drives to the MAC logo. Picks up her dribble. Spins. Kicks it out. Masher with 5 on the shot clock. Hands off for Young. Double teamed. Jazz 1 to shoot. Pulls a 3 at the buzzer. Off and to the left. Didn't hit rim. Off the backboard. A shot clock violation against Buffalo will give Bowling Green the ball at their own baseline. 28-16. Buffalo still leads Bowling Green with 7 minutes to go in the first half on BG's senior day. Velasco atop the key, drives all the way to the left sideline, cuts to the baseline on Young, picks up her dribble at the short corner, kicks it up top for Zekin, back to the left wing. Velasco drives baseline, throws it up with the right hand and gets it off the window, off front iron and in. 10-point deficit for Bowling Green. The lead has been as large as 16 for Buffalo. They led 26-10 on the wrong end of a 10-2 or an 8-2 run rather for Bowling Green. Young for Stone atop the key. Masher at the right elbow, 2 dribbles inside to the left wing. Perkins, the forward, sends it up top for Young. She drives on Velasco, throws it up with the left hand around the body of Velasco and draws the foul on the sophomore from Centerville. 2 fouls on BG. The fans don't like it, though Coach Burke does. 10-point lead for Buffalo. Jasmine Young, who took a beating on the play, reached around with the left hand and floated it up to get the shot off. She will head to the line for 2 free throws. 6:18 to go in the first half. A 10-point lead for Buffalo. The lone returner on the Bulls roster from a MAC championship team a year ago, sinks the free throw number 1. Young eyes down the basket and sinks in the second. 29 make it 30-18 for Buffalo. On the right wing, Amy Velasco to Brett. Quick across the floor pass, caught by Fleming. She's shut down by Young. Quick pass atop the key. Hand off from Zekin for Fleming. 1 dribble to the left. Kick to Hempfling for 3 from straight away. Off front iron, it crawls over. And it's the first 3-pointer on the day for Bowling Green. 1 of 11 from beyond the arc now for BG. 30-21. Buffalo still leads the Falcons. Buffalo having shot 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. 3 different Bulls knocking down a triple. Stone between the rings, dribbles with the right. Looks for Winfield to her left and gives it to her. Up top for Stone. Stone with 10 to shoot. Right arc, picks up her dribble. Floats it inside for Winfield. She drives through the lane as it's stolen away. Hempfling came back to poke it with the right hand, and it's Bowling Green the other way. Elisa Brett loses control atop the key for Bowling Green, cutting east to west. It's stolen away by Stone. 1-on-1 with Brett at the right elbow. She nearly lost her dribble. She got it back again. 5:10 to go in the first half. Stone bounces to the near wing for Perkins. To the baseline, Masher. Shut out by the defense of Hempfling, and a steal on the turnover. Fleming down the right wing. Brett throws it up. Bodies collide. Offensive foul on Bowling Green. Latrice Perkins sets her feet beyond the restricted zone and draws the foul on the Falcons, who hear the boos rain down at their home floor, trailing 30-21. A timeout on the floor sends us to a media break with 4:56 to go in the first half. Buffalo upsetting Bowling Green at the moment, 30-21 in the first half. This is the Bulls Radio Network presented by Learfield. What a game. Rayshawna Stone, 21 points. Zakiyah Winfield picks up her 15th double-double on the season. No rebound bigger than that one on the previous possession. 19 points, 11 rebounds. The two Division II transfers combined for 40 of Buffalo's 69. Who says that Division II talent doesn't transfer to the mid-major level? I'd like to have a conversation with them. Stone and Winfield also have 6 assists each. Stone with 6 boards herself. Young with 11 points, 7 of 10 from the free throw line. 6 rebounds for Jasmine Young. Hattie Ogden with 9 points and 8 rebounds. It's taken a full 40 minutes for Buffalo in this one to keep their season alive. 69-66. The Bulls are on top with 31 seconds to go. The Bulls have lost 3 players off their roster already this season. 1 due to injury, 2 had left the team, 1 preseason, 1 midseason. The Bulls have lost 2 assistant coaches. Various reasons behind that as well. With Coach Burke in her first year as head coach with the Buffalo Bulls, wearing the same royal blue suit she wore nearly a year ago when being introduced to the Bulls fan base here at Alumni Arena by Director of Athletics Mark Allnut. She walks down the sideline to the center court stripe. Western Michigan inbounds left of their bench. 30 seconds to go. Shot clock remains on with 1 second remaining after that. Wagner drives all the way to the rack, throws it up with the left and draws a foul on Buffalo. It'll be 2 free throw attempts coming up for the Broncos, who trail by 3. Bulls fans don't like the call. Jasmine Young was moving left to right inside the restricted zone. She said she was going straight up as she left her hands in the air. But the foul is called on Jasmine Young. Coach Burke with 3 timeouts in her pocket. Wagner shoots the free throw. It rattles out. The lead can be shrunk to no less than 2. It's 69-66 Buffalo at the moment. The junior, Megan Wagner, hits the second. It's a 2-point ball game. Substitution for Western Michigan as Allie Carlson, the freshman, comes in to play defense for the Broncos. Timeout, Buffalo. A 30-second timeout for Coach Burke. She has 2 remaining. Each team having taken 5 fouls already this quarter. Each team having 1 player foul out so far. Gabby Saxman for the Broncos, Emerita Micher for the Bulls. This game was Buffalo's from the start, having opened it 7-0. They held a 39-30 lead at the end of the first half. Coming into this fourth quarter, they were still up by 9, 61-52. Western Michigan, with their season on the line as well, have not laid down. The Broncos need to defend. One last possession for Buffalo in this one. And the Broncos need a steal, perhaps a foul as well. With the shot clock off, 23 seconds to go. Hattie Ogden inbounds in front of the scorer's table. The Bulls stack up in front of her. Now spring free. A body falls for Wagner. Stone gets the inbound pass from her roommate Hattie Ogden and gets fouled by Western Michigan. This will send Rayshawna Stone to the free throw line. Allie Carlson picks up her first foul on the day. Perhaps that is why the freshman was substituted in, as Western Michigan sends 2 into the game, including Maggie Studelberg, who has the noses plugged up, both nostrils plugged up, after taking a hand to the face earlier in this quarter. She's knocked down 5 threes so far. Studelberg has. Stone from the stripe, misses the first, around and out. She spins off of her left leg back to dap up Winfield and Ogden, who retreat to the backcourt for Buffalo. Stone to make it a 3-point game. Yes. 70-67. Buffalo leads with 21 to go. Inbound rolled to the center court line. Wagner scoops it up. She dribbles to the left elbow, drives on Stone, throws it up short. Rebound, Rayshawna Stone. She is fouled by Megan Wagner. 14 seconds to go in the fourth. Bulls fans get on their feet at Alumni Arena. Buffalo has 2 timeouts remaining. Up by 3. Rayshawna Stone at the free throw line. Stone takes a big exhale. The long red braids hang down her white jersey. She dribbles 3 times, releases perfect on the first. 2-possession lead for Buffalo. Stone with 23 points, leads all scorers. Stone with the Bulls fans, with the horns in the air, releases the second that goes off to the left. 4-point ball game. Wagner takes it across the timeline, 10 to go. She pulls up from straightaway three, off to the right. Rebound, Winfield. Foul on Western Michigan. Buffalo with 6 seconds to go. Coach Burke asks what happened in the Ball State-Miami game. Coach, the Cardinals won it. With Buffalo winning today, they head to Cleveland. Winfield, a chance to seal it from the line. Bulls filling the lower bowl. The fans all on their feet. Winfield, a big exhale with the ball in both hands. She spins it off into the left. Releases high with the right. Off and to the right for Winfield. Stone pats her former Division II teammate on the back before heading to the backcourt. Zakiyah Winfield releases the free throw. It's the dagger. 72-67, 6 seconds to go. Wagner takes it across the timeline, pass down the floor. 2 seconds, steal for Young. Buffalo's going to Cleveland. 72-67. The Bulls end the regular season on a 3-game win streak, and they punch their ticket to the Mid-American Conference Tournament in Coach Becky Burke's first season. Despite all improbable odds, despite losing players, despite losing coaches, the Buffalo Bulls head to the conference tournament to play either Bowling Green or Toledo.
Now, here's Jack Cruiser.
A good Saturday morning, friends, back in Buffalo. Welcome in to a University Arena for Girl Scout Day, or at least it was supposed to be, in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Late arriving crowd.
For Saturday afternoon Mid-American Conference women's basketball. Jack Cruiser, joined by UB Director of Athletic Communications, Sarah Trinelli, for the CEFQ pregame show, presented by CEFQ for all your banking needs. CEFQ, a division of Broadview. Buffalo comes in off a loss to one-loss Ball State in conference play. Buffalo looks to remain above 500 in MAC action on the road versus Western Michigan this afternoon. The Broncos, on the other hand, return home after defeating Ohio in Athens on Wednesday. They're on a 3-game winning streak and also at 3-2 in conference play. Sarah, the Ball State game was ugly at the end of it, but for the first 32-ish minutes of it, Buffalo is hanging with one of the top teams in the conference.
Yeah, if it was a 32 or 33-minute game, Buffalo might have came out in the end of it, and it was unfortunate. Obviously, some of the calls that were a little squirrely, and things got a little helter-skelter, I think, and I think that is a learning situation, right? Because while Buffalo might not have agreed with a couple of things that happened, I think what is the learning experience is how do you deal with that adversity? And I think Buffalo did not handle it well. Admittedly, their staff and their players know that. I think it's something where you could have kept it and fought back and got it within a couple possessions, and instead you let it spiral and you lose by 22. And particularly at home, Ball State's a good team though, and we said this coming into the game. If you give them looks and you make it easy for them, they're going to make you pay, and they certainly did that down the stretch. So I think a learning experience for Buffalo. It was a good barometer of where they are early in conference play, and I'll tell you what, there's no time to dwell on it or rest for the weary because they're on the road in Western Michigan against a really tough Broncos team.
Now, in that Ball State game on Wednesday, officiating was a question towards the end, and fouls piled up for Buffalo, some that the coaching staff and fans surely did not agree with, as we heard throughout the latter half of the game at Alumni Arena on Wednesday. It was within 2 possessions the whole game until a particular set of plays and fouls that were called. But in that, you can argue the fouls all you want. I think what showed to me the most in that fourth quarter, Sarah, was Latrice Perkins and her difference down low. She also set a career high at the D1 level with 12 points in that game in a loss, but she fouled out with 2 questionable fouls in the fourth quarter. She was playing with 3, and she was the difference maker because as soon as Treese came out with that 5th foul, Ball State was able to use the pick and roll and use their bigs all day long to end the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, you can't ever blame a game on the refs, right? I think, the calls were timely and they were unfortunate the way they went. But what you have to remember also is Buffalo gave up a 10-2 run to go down by 7 right before then. And so, okay, maybe the refs, we don't agree with 1 or 2 that goes that way. But, you can't let it come down to that. And they've got to get a handle on that. But on the positive note, I mean, Latrice Perkins, she has really started to take an elevated role. I mean, she didn't play but about more than maybe 15 minutes a game max early on in conference play, but towards the end of conference play, in that game against Bucknell, and then going into MAC play, she has proven to be an absolute stud on the defensive end of the floor. And they have relied a lot, the Bulls have, on Emerita Masher to be that vocal defensive leader, but sometimes there's just a matchup out there that they just don't like, and to be able to go to a depth, and first of all, to have Emerita not play 40 minutes a game, but to be able to go to another player and get that spark off the bench, somebody that's going to fly in there that's really long. She has a super long wingspan, really athletic kid. Her body is built for this conference. And what Latrice Perkins has been able to do on the defensive floor has been flat out great, and now it's spilling into the offensive end because she's getting steals or she's getting big rebounds and she's getting out and running, and she's a really, really good rim runner at about 5'10", and her guards are finding her, and she's starting to get some buckets in transition.
In that game against Ball State late in the fourth quarter, what got away from the Bulls was their three-point defense. The Cardinals started lighting it up from outside latter stages of the fourth quarter, and they play against a team today who also can shoot the three, though not as well as their opponents have this season. Buffalo doesn't shoot the three as much, Sarah. Do you think maybe today against a team that doesn't really guard you out far, Buffalo's going to take a couple more?
You know, I like them. I don't mind them taking them, but I don't want it early in the shot clock. I think Buffalo took way too many threes early in the shot clock the other day, and that's really not what you want to do because it creates long rebounds. It lets a team that's good in transition like Western Michigan get out and run. You do not want to do that. This is another game where both teams are going to try and run, and who is able to get their transition defense better and force the other to go in half court, I think is going to have the success today. So I think Buffalo's going to have to take a handful of them, right? They're going to have to get the looks, and when they've got the open looks, take them. But look, I mean, this Western Michigan team just made 12 the other night, okay? Like, they can light it up. They've got kids who might not shoot it at a super high clip, but if you give them open looks, these are Division I basketball players, okay, Jack? Like, these kids are good. And they're going to make them. If there's nobody within 2 feet of them because the communication wasn't good or the help's not good, they're going to knock them down. And so I think Buffalo did a decent job of it in the first half on Ball State. I thought really doing a good job of closing, and maybe outside of 1 or 2 that they hit were pretty contested, and then they got sloppy and in the second half and let themselves get lax on that. So I think guarding the three-point line will be another big point of emphasis today.
Let's move to our Bulls injury report before we look at Western Michigan. Presented by UBMD Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the team doctors for your UB Bulls. Call them at 716-204-3200. Sarah, any updates on the Bulls? And let me ask you, with the short bench that the Bulls do play with, how is this coaching staff managing not only the minutes on the floor, but the minutes on the court throughout the course of a practice week to make sure these players are able to play a full 40?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest non-X's and O's challenge that head coach Becky Burke faces this season is that load management. And, you know, to have to say that only 5 games into conference play is not great, but it's going to be a factor all year long. You know, to answer your question, it's same old, nothing new, but these are tired legs. It was a dogfight. It was a physical, brutal battle on Wednesday. They had 1 day of prep and then got on a plane, a long day of travel yesterday, and an early start again today with this being the first game of a doubleheader here in University Arena. So, you know, those are all factors, but nobody feels bad for Buffalo. Like, Western Michigan doesn't care. They got up early, too. Like, they shot before we did. So it's like, you know, at some regards, it's like, do you want to use those as an excuse, or is it just a fact, right? Like, is it just a matter of fact, or is it an excuse? And I think the team that can control those emotions and comes out and gets off to a good start is going to do themselves a lot of favors today.
On a team like Western Michigan will say, hey, we've also got to make a drive to Western New York later on in the season. It'll be the last game of the year, the second meeting between these two teams, not till March. So for Western Michigan, there's really 2 keys that you got to look out for. Taylor Williams and the stud of the team, who may drop 40 on any given night, Lauren Ross.
Lauren Ross is about as good of an all-around player as you're going to get in this league, and she's doing it as a sophomore. I mean, look, I think she really had a breakout performance last year, put her name, and had her team maybe got a couple more wins, she might have climbed herself up higher onto those postseason lists. But this is a kid that is explosive. She shoots the absolute heck out of the ball, can put the ball on the floor and knock down a mid-range jumper, and she's just going to dog you. Like, that, the kid is just a player. Your eyes go to her, and she's a kid who's used to having the ball in her hands a lot and welcomes that. Like, you can see the look in her eyes when she plays that if you give her an inch, she's taking 20 from you, and it's just with ease. And so if Buffalo thinks that they can lose her for a second or be off on a communication rotation or anything like that, she will make you pay every single time. And then Taylor Williams, I mean, my goodness, both of them shooting at an extremely high clip, both in the top 5 in conference play right now in field goal percentage. Williams is a dog on the board. She's going to go and get every single one of them. She's going to ball hockey. She's going to beat you. She's going to take it through your chest. Athletic, will jump over you, around you, through you. Whatever she has to do to get that ball, she's going to do. And so this Western Michigan team has gone as those two have gone. Now, there are other role players that have done well. Maddie Waters can shoot the ball pretty well, and there's other kids out there that can hurt you. But the focus undoubtedly has to be on the two of them, particularly on Lauren Ross.
And Lauren Ross this season, you mentioned the preseason accolades, not as high as one would expect, though. Third team All-MAC last year, preseason All-MAC second team this season. She's dropped 30 points 3 times this season, including the last time she played in this building, 31 versus Northern Illinois. Western Michigan 4-2 at home this season. They've won 3 of their last 4 games at University Arena. Let's go to our players to watch. Kind of just touched on them. Lauren Ross is our player to watch for Western Michigan. Undoubtedly, she wears number 22 in white and brown today. Your players to watch, presented by Intense Milk. Intense low-fat chocolate milk, a proud sponsor of UB Bulls basketball. Refuel, replenish, and recover with Intense low-fat chocolate milk and live life intense. Sarah, who are you keeping an eye on for Buffalo tonight?
I'm going to go with Zakiyah Winfield. Like, in the last couple games you could say is an off night for her, which is almost just laughable because she's like 9 rebounds, 13 points and 5 assists, and like that's an off night for her. Look, she's got 10 double-doubles on the year and is the top rebounding guard, right? Ranks in the top 10 in all these categories. But I think it's what she's going to do from a control standpoint on both sides of the floor that's going to be a big factor for her.
So Zakiyah Winfield this season is top 10 in the nation in double-doubles. She's got 10 of them through 14 games played this year. 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists on Wednesday in the loss to Ball State. Though she has really found her rhythm after a tough game at Ohio a couple of weeks ago. Zakiyah is back in a groove as of late in conference play. Let's go to ST's Keys, presented by Town Auto, the official auto dealer of UB Athletics, offering special pricing to UB student, staff, and alumni. Sarah, ST's Keys for Bulls fans tonight.
First one is all in, full focus, 40 minutes. All in, full focus, 40 minutes. Buffalo learned the hard way what happens when you play 32 minutes of basketball or 30 minutes of basketball or 36 minutes of basketball. They have learned that way, that you cannot do that against most teams in the country, particularly not in this league on the road. It's got to be an aggression and an attitude from the start that they're going to go out there, set the tone, throw the first punch, and then we go from there. So I think that's just more of a mental and an energy standpoint. And truly, I think when Buffalo's at its best from locked in and an energy standpoint, the rest takes care of itself. So if they only did that one key, I'd be good. But I think on the offensive end, it's got to be ball movement. I think when Buffalo has struggled in the last couple games, when they go through these scoring droughts or when they look, it's a lot of standing around. It's a lot of ISO ball. When their assist numbers get up because they're moving the ball and making the easy pass and getting a good shot, I think that's when they're at their best, and that's what they need to do today. I will give the fans and you one quick change. I just spoke with our assistant coach. Latrice Perkins will be in the starting lineup today instead of Kayla Salmon. So we mentioned Treese and the impact that she had on the defensive end. I think that's a tone-setting moment and a good way for it to go. So
Latrice Perkins, her first start in conference play this season. Thank you, Sarah. We'll take a break and come back with words from Coach Burke. I had a nice chat with her just a few minutes ago before shoot-around here at University Arena. This is the Bulls pregame show presented by CEFQ for all your banking needs. CEFQ, a division of Broadview. We'll be back with Coach Burke, starting lineups, and so much more from University Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's the Bulls and the Western Michigan Broncos in Michigan after this. That is where we stand as we welcome you into the Caven, Dudzinski and Associates halftime show, brought to you by Ed Caven and Jeff Dudzinski, welcoming the opportunity to help you with all your insurance needs. Call them at 836-2145. Buffalo leads 33-27 at halftime. Sarah Trinelli joins us for halftime. It's so tense on the floor so far.
I can't even sit down, Jack. I'm not even sitting. I might just stat the rest of this game standing. It is. And you know what? I think it's because of the magnitude of this game, right? Like we talked about it coming in. Both teams know, and I think just every shot, every rebound, every pass has just so much more emphasis behind it. And, you don't want to over-dramatize it, right? Because, look, at the end of the day, it is just another game. But I think that first half was indicative of how much these two teams want it, how much they know they need it. And, I thought it would be a dogfight. And, Buffalo unfortunately dug themselves in that big hole early. But, credit to them, a big second quarter, and I think it started on the defensive end, right? Like, you hold them scoreless for the last 3 minutes of that first quarter. You start again and able to go on that big run and force the timeout early, and then, you weather the storm. The only number I don't love is the second chance numbers. I don't love the offensive rebounds turning into 7 second chance points with Miami. I mean, arguably it's a double-digit lead without that, right? So it led to a costly third foul on Jasmine Young, and it led to a 3 there late in the second quarter as well. So they've got to do a better job on the glass. I know they're only -3 overall, but those offensive rebounds are going to hurt them in the second half if they don't get that under control.
Your first key on the pregame show was to make them earn it. How do you think the Bulls did on that defensive key?
I think they did good. I'll give them a check mark on that one. I don't love the 7 fouls. Some of that is the officiating crew, but Buffalo's got to adjust. I want the shots contested and I want aggressive, but be aggressive with your feet and your body, not your hands. You can't get those ticky-tack reach fouls. Hattie getting 2, Jazz with 3. I think Treese has a couple as well, and I don't like that because obviously we talked about Buffalo's bench, right? It's non-existent. There's not a lot of help coming, and so you're going to have to sit down and guard. I think, Coach Burke's going to have to make some adjustments, maybe slide a Jasmine off onto one of the other guards for Miami. But look, whoever's guarding Peyton Scott better not go under one more screen because the kid's a bucket. We told you she's so dangerous with that 2-dribble pull-up, and she really was as good as advertised there in that first half.
Scott and Wolf combined for just 6 of Miami's 27 in the first half. Peyton Scott with 4, Ivy Wolf with 2. It's been Maddie Kloos who's been dangerous for the Redhawks so far, leading the game with 11 points. But Sarah, defensively, the Bulls being aggressive. They've all been aggressive, and it's led to the most split stat line that we've seen all season. Not just one Bull dominating. It's a completely different script than we saw on Wednesday.
Well, and you got 6 Bulls finding the score sheet, right? Like, normally we get to this point at halftime and you got 3 kids, maybe, and then maybe a fourth with 2. Mm-hmm. But, right, it's balanced. I think, Jazz was aggressive in the early going. Stone is picking up right where she left off. Z is great. But then, as you mentioned, you're getting some points from Hattie and Kaylin hitting big threes, not only just hitting them, but when they came. And then also Treese. I thought Latrice Perkins gave some really good minutes in there. It was unfortunate that she picked up that second foul, but when Treese leaks out and gets out in transition, she's so long and lanky that you just throw that ball up there like either Z or Jazz did to her, and she's going to catch it and throw it in there. So that's a rim runner that, when effective, is a really big bonus for Buffalo.
All right, those are ST's Keys, brought to you by Town Auto, the official auto dealer of UB Athletics, offering special pricing to UB student, staff, and alumni. Thank you, Sarah. We will take a break and come back with a look around the MAC. Some scores that are interesting as all games have hit halftime if they haven't already concluded across the MAC. More on the Kava Dudzinski and Associates halftime show coming up after this. Field to the elbow, throws it to the near side. Stone has it, 3 to shoot. Stone pulls the 3, and it's good! It rattles home for Rayshawna Stone. Throws it across the floor. Ogden, 1-touch pass to the corner. 3 for Masher. You betcha! Amarita Masher. After 2 triples at Eastern 2 days ago, she extends the Bulls' lead to 16. 8 seconds to shoot. Stone pulls the 3. It rattles in! 3's in the air for Rayshawna Stone. 35-21 Buffalo lead. Step to the left, 3 on the way. It's good. Jasmine Young drops it in the bucket from in front of her own bench and extends the lead back to 15. Triple team down low. Kick to the opposite wing. Ogden pulls the 3. It's good. Patty Ogden swishes it home. Buffalo's got their largest lead on the day at 18. Catches outside 3 for Ogden. Good! Patty with back-to-back triples. Buffalo's up 53-32. A 19-point lead for the Bulls. Young on the left wing. Pulls a 3 with 5 to shoot. And it goes! Jasmine Young was walking down the court before it switched in. Buffalo's up 56-32. Denied by Hampton, drives baseline on her, floats it up with the right and gets it to roll in. Jasmine Young with another bucket. She's got 12. Masher in the low post finds Stone, up and under, left hand, good. Rayshawna Stone around the trees, finds the space and floats it in. Good ball movement from the Bulls. Mashere drives, dish down low. Winfield, yes! Incredible passing from Buffalo leads to the bucket from Winfield. 3 to shoot. Stone pulls up from 3, and it's good! Coach Burke with a big smile throws up the threes in the air as her team sets up defensively. Mashere atop the key, drives through the lane, throws it up with the left, and one! Emerita Mashere flexes on the Falcons, putting Buffalo up 27, drawing the foul on a career day for the Helsinki native. With 40 seconds to go, Barron takes it all the way to the rack and lays it in. The bench erupts for Buffalo. Ogden's bouncing up and down. Robin Freilich calls a timeout for more subs. The Bulls flying in Bowling Green. Buffalo wins 84-66 at the Stroh Center. Just the second team all season to knock off the Falcons on their home floor. My thanks to Joe Cali for setting up all those highlights that took so long we didn't have enough music to cover underneath it. Nothing else you can do when the Bulls have such an unbelievable offensive output, especially on the road against the #1 team in the conference. 84-66. Buffalo takes the win. They keep their conference tournament hopes alive. They can make the tournament if they win against Akron and Western Michigan, both games at home next week on Wednesday and Saturday. But first, our United Rentals player of the game today. You can pick any one of the Bulls who gave 110% effort on the day for 40 full minutes. It's what Coach Burke and company have been looking and asking for all season long. They got it here in Bowling Green tonight. Perhaps the spark that could end a miraculous run to end this regular season. Our United Rentals player of the game, however, will be Rayshawna Stone. 23 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 39 minutes of all heart and soul for the transfer who was the Division II National Player of the Year last season, proving time and time again that her D2 talent transfers into the D1 level tremendously at the Mid-American Conference. Stone, our United Rentals player of the game, brought to you by United Rentals. Count on them for the world's largest rental fleet, backed by a team of equipment experts ready to help you get the job done. Visit us on Transit Road in Williamsville today or call 716-565-1330. The Bulls led this game wire to wire. Bowling Green leads 0 times. Buffalo, their largest lead on the day was 28. They hold Bowling Green to their 3rd fewest output all season. They have held the Bowling Green Falcons to their 2 of their lowest 3 totals all season, with the only other team holding them lower than 64 and 63 points were the number 9 ranked Indiana Hoosiers, where they held the Falcons to 61 in the non-conference schedule. Buffalo wins 84-66. They return home to play the Akron Zips on Wednesday. Tip-off at 6 p.m. for Dominique Camp's return to Alumni Arena. Now, a hell of a lot more meaningful than it would have been with a loss today. The Bulls need a win to keep their conference hopes alive on Wednesday, and they welcome back a familiar foe. Pregame at 5:30, tip-off at 6 on the radio home of the Bulls. We'll be back on 1520 a.m. and the Varsity Network app on Wednesday night. For producer Joe Cali, this is Jack Cruiser saying thanks for spending your Saturday afternoon with the Buffalo Bulls and me, and boy, was it a good time. Till next time, friends, I bid you adieu. Back on the Bulls pregame show, getting you ready for tip-off between Buffalo and Central Michigan. Joined now by Bulls head coach Becky Burke. First of all, your thoughts taking you way back to 2009, if you remember the last time you played here in McGurk Arena. Hit a 3, the fire alarm goes off, you're ushered out for 30 minutes. Do you remember that game at all?
I remember it now that you and Sarah brought it up. It's like coming back to my memory, but when I walked in this building, I did not remember that happened right off the bat. So now that I'm familiar with it, it does sound like it did happen. Yes.
So let's go back at least to Wednesday. You definitely remember Wednesday at Toledo. Jasmine Young scores her 1,000th, and that's about all we'll talk about from the Toledo game. But what do you need to see from Jazz down the stretch for this team to make a postseason run?
I think just assertiveness, aggressiveness, some leadership, and just her really, really wanting to, end her career whenever that is, hopefully as long as possible on the right note here at Buffalo. I think she deserves that. I think she's earned it. She's a big part of what we do, so the consistency piece from Jazz is big for us.
When you play a team the second time around, and this is the first time we're seeing a team for the second time this season, what differs in the prep? Do you look more at what they've done recently? Do you go back and watch the last time you played them? What means more to you there?
It's a little bit of both. Obviously, what they're doing recently and what they're doing as of late is super important, but just also making the adjustments for the last game. That's going to be the key, which team can adjust and make the proper corrections that are going to give their team the best chance to win today. So ultimately, I mean, it's about us. We need to play hard. We need to rebound the basketball, and if we're able to do that, I think we can win any game, but we haven't rebounded it very well. We haven't defended at a high level the last couple games, and we need to really get back to that here down the stretch to give ourselves a chance to play in the postseason.
With 6'5" Rochelle Norris in the middle of that Central Michigan offense and defense, last time she had 25. Are you okay with giving her points as long as the rest of the team shuts out the guards?
No, I'm not. I don't think we can give her points. I think we're going to have to make her work and earn everything that she gets today, but, you know, most particularly on the boards, I think just making sure that we hold them to one and done and that we don't allow them to get second chance opportunities when we force them to take the shots we want them to take.
The difference between the roster when you played them the first time to now for both teams, frankly, is different. You know, without the size that Kayla brought to the floor and now running with one less player in the rotation, does that change at all how you set up to defend Norris and Harris and Utberg, the rest of Central Michigan?
I don't think so. Kayla didn't play a significant amount of minutes the first time we played them, and so it's not a concern for me as far as personnel goes. It's just, what's the game plan and how well do we execute it no matter who's on the floor. But yeah, two different teams personnel-wise right now. They're battling some injuries. We've obviously been low on numbers all year, so it's going to be interesting.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome into the Milton Cat postgame show, presented by Milton Cat, your complete source for Caterpillar machines, engines, generators, technology, parts, and service in Western New York. Now open in Tonawanda. The Bulls win 72-67, taking down the Western Michigan Broncos, sending them packing for the rest of the season. Western Michigan's out. Buffalo punches their ticket to the conference tournament. Joined now by Bulls assistant coach Wyatt Foust. Congratulations on making it into the conference tournament in year number one. How do you feel?
Oh man, for this team, to be gutted after the Eastern Michigan game, and the odds that we've only won 4 conference games to that point, and the odds that you're going to go 3-0 against 3 teams that beat you, one of them being the best team in the conference at their place, they could have easily packed it in and wrapped it up, but I think it says a lot about who these kids are as people to be able to do what, a lot of people thought was the impossible, and so they deserve this. The night before we played Bowling Green, Z text was like, Coach, what do we have to do? Like, you could just tell. They were just engaged, wanted it, and committed to getting it done. And we've won the rebound margin for 3 games in a row. Things that we were just weren't doing for a very long time. And so we're playing our best basketball at the time you want to be doing it. So we're one of the hottest teams going into this thing, and we're in, and that's great. And but we also want to go and go ahead and make some noise. We're not just happy to be going.
Toledo up 56-51 over Bowling Green at the moment. 30 seconds to go from Toledo. That game not decided yet, but coach, this game started out the way you wanted to, up 7-0, then taking a lead into halftime up by 9. There were moments in that first half where it was clear that Coach Burke wasn't happy with the performance. What was the turning point in today's game that led to the win?
We tightened up our transition out of the break, and you have to have I'm sure a lot of people, you see somebody make a couple threes, it's like, man, what are we doing? But they took 38 of them and they only hit 13. And what it did is it kept them from scoring at the rim. It kept them off the free throw line, and so, hey, that you hit 13 threes, but when you were not really getting anything at the rim and you're not going to hit the free throw line, that doesn't add up all that quickly. So, we knew that was going to be part of it, playing zone. This was probably truly one of the tougher teams to zone in. But our guys did a great job. Like I said, there was with 38 threes, that's a lot of long rebounds and a lot of chances for offensive rebounds. They took 63 shots and only got 8 offensive rebounds. So, that's a testament to our guys committing to changing, the things that they had to change to give us some success.
After having won just 2 games at home to start the conference schedule, you end the season, regular season, with 2 wins at Alumni Arena. What does it mean to get this win, not only in front of these fans who came out to support in these last 2 games, but for these seniors on senior day as well, as they'll have their moment in just a couple seconds?
Oh, man, you got to hope that to go out on this note, it gives these people a reason to want to come back next year and be super excited about what we're building, what we're doing. I think we put a pretty exciting product on the floor, and so hopefully, it is great for our fans, but, it's great for our seniors, man. When your season comes down to your last game and it's senior night, you're like, man, what a horrible senior night this is going to be if we don't pull it off, but I'm glad we don't have to worry about that.
Well, we'll let you go and enjoy the senior night festivities. Thank you, Coach, and congratulations. We'll take a break on the Milton Cat postgame show and come back with highlights and a look around the MAC, a recap from today's game as they roll on with Senior Day festivities. We'll let you know all that's going on the floor as well. Bulls win 72-67 at Alumni Arena and punch their ticket to the Mid-American Conference Tournament. More on the Milton Cat postgame show coming up after this.
With fifth-year guard Zakiyah Winfield. Z, let's talk about last season first. At Glenville State, your 4th year there, you win a national title. What was that experience like?
It felt crazy. It was a great experience. I had that thought coming in last summer that we were going to win. I told my coach, this is our year. We're going to win this. And we did it. It was like a crazy feeling, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity.
What was it about that team that you knew going into the season, we're going to win a national championship?
I think it was the hurt that, how we lost last season. It was during COVID year, we lost first round of the NCAA tournament. We lost on a buzzer beater. We were up by 18 points, and then we blew it. So, that feeling of hurt was just something that we didn't want to experience again. And, we all wanted to win. We had a lot of seniors, so we were like, let's go out with a bang. This is our year, so let's do it.
With you from your time at Glenville State, coming to Buffalo, Rayshawna Stone, what's your relationship like with her off the floor, on the floor, and coming together to Buffalo? How special is that?
Well, Stone is my best friend. She's one of my best friends. We came in to Glenville as freshmen together, played with each other majority of the years. So, we're very close off the court, on the court. We have great chemistry. It's just a great feeling to play with your best friend for your last year of college. And, we weren't expecting to come to Buffalo together, but, it just happened, and we're just very thankful that we get to play basketball with each other for one more year.
So how did that happen? Why Buffalo? Why Coach Burke?
Okay, well, Coach Burke coached in our conference when we were freshmen and sophomore. She coached at Charleston. And so we were familiar with her. Stone and I entered the portal at separate times. So the recruiting processes were different for us. And then I think she entered the portal and Becky reached out to her. And then shortly after she entered, I entered. And then Becky reached out to me. So then we ended up taking a visit together. And we were just sold on it. Coach Burke just told us things that, we were interested in. We wanted to win. The coaching staff was great. So it was just why not? This school had everything that we needed to be successful for our last year.
What was it about that visit, seeing the campus, getting to talk with all the coaches and everything? What was that visit like and getting to see the place for the first time?
It was great. It's definitely different than, Glenville, where it's in the middle of nowhere, small Division II school, only about 1,800 kids there. The atmosphere here is just different, the city life, I would say all the resources that are around. The visit was just great, seeing the campus, how big it was, how many things you get just being a Division I, basketball player, was just cool and different. And, we felt Stone and I felt like this was our best fit coming here out of all our choices.
Have you gotten a chance to experience the Buffalo food yet?
Yes.
What's your go-to place right now?
I don't know if I have a go-to place. Honestly, I have many different restaurants, but I don't know.
Have you tried the wings?
Yeah, I have tried the wings, but I don't think I've tried where everyone is so, I don't know, hype about. I feel like I've only eaten, Anger Bars wings.
Okay.
I don't really know.
It's a staple. You have to. Now, back to basketball. So your first game as a Bull, you drop a double-double against a D2 school, so you're comfortable with that level of competition. But now, as a D1 athlete, has there been any change in your prep or anything else away from the floor, on the floor, being a D1 athlete rather than D2, or is it business as usual?
I would just say it's the same. You know, I treat everyone as an opponent. I want to win, so I don't care if it's Division 2, 3, 4, Division 1. I don't really care about any of that. I want to win, so I'm looking forward to, have an opportunity to play in my first Division 1 game versus a Division 1 team.